I'm trying to figure what I don't know yet that I was gonna ask you. The white man in the beginning with the long hair, who is that?
That's the photographer.
So who was the? That's the same. That's the same guy that was on the motorcycle that drove her through the jungle.
That's what I think. That's what he looked like to me. It looked
Oh,
like him. He just changed his appearance. I There's something about that pose though, and I tried to. It's the only time I tried to look it up because it's like so in this episode, the things were it was even more subtle than with the other episodes as far as the storyline goes and things to figure out. Besides the baby, that shit was creepy. But the way she was posing, I've seen that pose before.
the Lloyd album cover.
What?
You are now tuned into Black on Black Prime.
Disclaimer: no matter if we liked your movie, liked your show, or hated the show, or hated your movie, doesn't matter. We respect you, shout outs to you, and we support you, and we try to get everybody else to support you like we support you. Black on Black Prime, we stand on what we say though.
And just like always, if you didn't ask for our opinion, we didn't ask you to listen to it. So, sorry.
Click and turn it off. Hey y'all, we back. The Changeling, episode 5. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm completely lost.
Oh man, I didn't look at any of the explains this time around because I took this episode for what it was. I didn't try to attach it, but I remember what happened the prior episodes, and this episode felt like a fill-in episode, right? It felt like
Let me tell you what pisses me off about your statement right now.
okay.
I was hoping
I looked at
that
it.
you watched the explain.
I did.
This is the one time I know I said I don't like to explain or none of that. This is the one time I was like, yeah, Brian probably just to get the motor starting to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, one reason I didn't. One reason because I probably would have, right? But at the same time, I was just like, okay, I got the episode, but I also didn't see no explains out yet because it just came out. So
Okay.
nobody dropped anything yet, you know what I mean? But I was also when I looked at the episode, I was just like, okay, like I did not get it. I think when trying to we tried to watch 3 episodes and put them all together. You know what I mean? So that made it harder to get because I was just like, damn, we got to watch all these episodes and review. Actually, it was 4 episodes. We got to watch all these episodes and remember and put it all together. So that's what made it difficult. So talking about this one individual episode, it just made me feel like, okay, like this episode, things are starting to make sense as far as the feelings because there was a lot of jumping around in the prior episodes to where it was like one thing would happen and then it would skip over and you're just like, well, how did this come to be? You know what I mean? Or what happened in the middle of this? And I felt like they were going back to all of that. Like we finally got the photographer. Finally got the picture. That's pretty much what this episode like started with. It's like we finally saw this picture, which I thought was going to be totally different at first. I thought it was going to be her really possessed on some witch shit. She just looked.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, she just looked regular or whatever, but with a plain face, right? So I'm trying to figure what I don't know yet that I was going to ask you. The white man in the beginning with the long hair, who is that?
That's the photographer.
So who was the? That's the same. That's the same guy that was on the motorcycle that drove her through the jungle.
That's what I think. That's what he looked like to me. It looked like him. He just changed his appearance. There's something about that pose though, and I tried to. It's the only time I tried to look it up because it's like so in this episode, the things were it was even more subtle than with the other episodes as far as the storyline goes and things to figure out. Besides the baby, that shit was creepy. But the shit the way she was posing, I've seen that pose before.
The Lloyd album cover.
What? Go what? Lloyd did.
You remember that album cover?
Lloyd was butt ass naked.
It was butt naked with a guitar. When I saw the picture, I was just like, I wonder if Lloyd got that from like maybe like some old Greek mythology pose or some shit like that. And that's
what I'm saying. So what's I'm thinking now that I'm thinking about it, because before when I saw the pose, I instantly started searching for like a pose for like a witch or a sorceress pose, because her friend was like, she was looking like a straight sorceress. When she said that, I'm like, there has to be something with this pose. So right now, while we're talking about it, is that like an Adam and Eve reference?
I don't know, because it's like, I don't think Eve was just out there, you know, I mean, by herself taking pictures. I feel like the pictures I saw with Adam and Eve, because it's not a real picture, right? It's just an image that they.
It's a drawing,
right? I always see them together.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like that picture doesn't really remind me of anything. It's just like she's covering her private parts in the jungle. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I look up something like that, what will come up? It'll probably be porn. I'd be like butt naked lady in the jungle.
I'm damn near gonna have to look up explained for this episode. Only for when it came to dealing with what she was doing in Brazil. Like that whole quote that they sent it in the text, and then he saw it on the stone in the jail. I want to know what that shit meant. When it was like what it was like, what the fuck did it say? Like you bathe it in the morning and you cover it in guile. Like what the fuck are they talking about? And then it was like she's at home in the forest, but she's lost in the jungle or some shit.
Don't give me the line, bro.
It was something like that. I'm all the way off with the wording, but that's what it was.
Yeah, I do not know what that meant. Is that that's not the that's the same thing that was written on, was that in the stone in the jail? Well,
in the jail. So in the beginning, in the credits, you know, when it's in the text message, that was the text message.
Okay.
And then it shows Lakeith, but when Lakeith is reading it, he's crying.
Like he knows where it's from,
or he knows what it means. Either he knows where it's from or he knows what it means. So it's like, but they don't. And again, like I said, that's the thing I appreciate, because I think they'll tell us later. There's a lot of times when Lakeith is reacting emotionally, but they don't say why.
Right. And it's like a lot of this is for later. It's like holding on to it for later, just like you said. And it's like right now, it might not be a big thing to know what that means. It's just like, okay, like just keep that in your head. You know what I mean? Like this is right. It's gonna come up again, because most of what's going on, it seems like it's not repetitive, but you see it again. You know what I mean? Like you keep seeing this book.
Yeah.
You saw that green book that old girl brought out that Emma had of his. Like you're gonna keep on seeing these things, and you just like, oh, that's what this was about, or oh, this was that meant, but we're not gonna know. So at this point,
right, even with the kids, we find out that none of these kids were the ones that were replaced. None of them. Like they all, these are all kids that the women brought with them that they already had.
The regular kids, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on. This is the most I've been confused out of all the episodes. This is the most I've been confused. The most I watched this episode twice. The most I've ever been confused in what's going on.
It seemed like in this, like, because at first where he was at seemed like, oh my god, like this nigga's like in this dungeon, this dark place or whatever. But like now it's like it's a low-key a shelter, you know what I mean? Like it looked
for abused women.
Yeah, it looked pretty like, you know what I mean, regular. It's like had kids and everything there or whatever. But it didn't seem like he was in danger anymore.
No,
he was there. Did she say he can't go back though? Like I feel like she was just like, you know, you're here, like you can't go back now. Like he has to stay there.
She said that, and then a lot of the shit she said, like Lakeith said it, he was like, did anybody ever tell you talking riddles? It's like, so you don't, whenever she's saying something, I can't take what she's saying just as what she's saying. Like I can't just take it as that. It's a deeper meaning than anything she says in here.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I took away from this other than just a feeling, you know what I mean, for how Emma was feeling, what she was going through with the baby, you know what I mean? Because like now Lakeith is finally finding out that, you know, she wasn't crazy, you know what I mean? And because he was just like, go in there and take your pill or something. Like they had that scene or whatever. It's just like she wasn't going through any of that. Like this was like legit. Like this baby was a demon. Like this baby was biting her. Baby was doing
that
all
baby
kinds
looked
of
crazy as shit. When they showed the baby the first time they showed the baby's face, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like, whoa. Whoa.
One thing I noticed too, when they were showing the baby, because they had the subtitles on. So sometimes when the baby making noise, it'll say the Changeling. And then it'll say Brian's crying.
The Changeling is the baby. Yeah. So I did see that. But I also
it's like Brian is in the baby almost, because it'll say the Changeling and then it'll say Brian's crying in the same scene. It's like they'll switch between both.
So tell me if you see this next time you watch the show. They say Emily and Emma. Do they say that on yours? Have you seen that? Like if you watch the SDH version where they show the names before they say something, like are they?
I didn't pay attention to that.
All right, check it out next time. I don't know if I'm tripping. Maybe I just didn't have my glasses on at the time. But I was just like, I wonder if these are two different people too, and they trying to like they're not gonna say it yet, but they're saying the name, and it's so like it sounds the same when you say it like quick, but like maybe just the closed captions aren't catching it. I'm just like, are these two different people too? You know what I mean? And they
also they said something about women being stuck out there. So maybe it wasn't her who came back from Brazil.
It was another one, and that's she has another name or something like that. I don't know.
It could be that.
Yeah, that's true. Because where's she at right now? That's the
hey, that's what he said. She was like, she's somewhere she can never come back from.
Yeah, that's what she kept saying. I was like, man, I don't like that. I was like, man, just tell me where she at, man. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, but that makes me, I don't know, that keeps me intrigued. That keeps me intrigued to want to know what's going on.
She's not dead.
Also, when they showed what's dude in the jail, what was his name was William, right?
The guy's name was William, but that's not his real name. And he was just like, or whatever. And I'm just like, I remember them going through that book, and his name's not Agnes, right? Because he kept on writing Agnes in the book. That's not his name.
Agnes is the daughter.
That's his daughter's name. The one that was the dead daughter.
The dead. So, and that's what I was gonna say. So they show him wherever that art is. They show him outside with the kids. His daughter wasn't a baby.
Yeah, she was like 5.
Right. So he killed a little girl. He didn't kill a changeling.
So that was Agnes.
Yeah, that was Agnes. Okay.
Did they say that, or was it just assumed?
Well, he said so. In earlier episodes, they said he had 2 daughters. They had an older one, and they had the baby. I think the older one was just the mom's daughter.
Okay.
And then remember, it was like, who killed her? Like he kept saying the wife killed her, but then he finds out that William killed her. So, and her name was Agnes.
Okay, I just didn't remember the name because I was just like,
remember that she was like, because she was like, he bought the book and he sent it to her, and she was like, he wrote on every page, and he was like, what did he write? He was like, he wrote her name, and then they showed it. He was like, Agnes. Like, I don't know, man.
The nigga stole $70,000 from her ass to get that damn.
Right.
That was just like, that's a cold game.
That was crazy. Yeah. That shit is crazy.
Yeah, man. This is it. I don't know whether it's because it's like I was just following it, right? And it was just like, okay, I know it's so many things to like catch on to, things that I might have to go back on for maybe the other episodes to catch on, but I'm like, maybe I should just watch the explains again and just to catch on. You know, I don't have to watch the full episodes again, but like, yeah, I just looked at it as a filler episode. Like I was more concerned about Emily or Emma in her picture and the photographer, and I didn't know that was a photographer that was there because he was on a site and then he ordered the picture. So I'm thinking, I was like, why would he order his own photo?
Or maybe you're right. Maybe I didn't catch that. Maybe he did order it.
Yeah,
maybe he did order it because I was wondering that too when they showed the. I even tried to unscramble the words he was looking at. You know, the title of the whatever the page was. So maybe he did order it from the photographer. Maybe I'm tripping.
Okay, yeah, I was tripping. I was just like, who is this white man, and why is he keep staring at this picture like this? You know what I mean? But,
so that is, you're right. You're absolutely right because it starts off with him unveiling it. I automatically just assumed he was a photographer. So from then on, in my mind, he's a photographer. But then they do show when they're taking it off the truck.
Right.
And that's what dude is across the street getting the ice cream.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I was trying to look at everything. I was looking at the ice cream, the words on the ice cream.
Yeah, I did that too.
You know that mean last piece what?
I did the same.
That shit mean which, nigga.
I did the same shit. Who is kindergarten?
I don't know. I heard him say that. I also actually saw it in the caption. I was just like, why are you saying in the kindergarten?
Because he said
it like a name.
Yeah, because he was like, because it wasn't like I remember kindergarten. He said it like that was his name because he was like, you even know my name, and he was like kindergarten.
Yeah,
and I was like, what? Like,
that wasn't even the nigga that they showed at the end. That wasn't the same guy.
It was him without the mask on because he said I took the mask of William.
So who is that guy? Have we seen him before? It's just a new face.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, people probably looking at us like, man, we all just don't know. We just watching the show, like trying to piece it together. Like all I got from it was okay. Like this is the photographer. I mean, this is the picture that we all been waiting for. Lakeith's character Apollo finally finds out what was really going on with his woman this whole time. And, you know what I mean? Where she went. And this is the place that she went. These are the ladies that she dealt with in the story. That's how I looked at this episode.
Yeah, but
and then of course the unmasking at the end of William. You know what I mean?
But like, even in that, when he's walking and talking to is her name Claire?
Well, yeah.
Or Carol?
Cal. Is it Cal?
Cal. Yeah, when he's walking and talking to Cal was like, yeah, he's right, we are witches, but the way she just breezes past that, it's like, no, what the fuck you mean you are witches? Like, don't just breeze past that.
Right. Like, what does that mean? Like, she made witches sound like it was just like, yeah, we're nannies. We're we're regular people over here. We're just trying to
it's something weird about that little girl.
The one I kept following.
Yeah, but her being like his wife, and for him to keep saying you remind me of my wife, I'm like, is this his wife reincarnated? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that. I know he kind of like he went down there and became a teacher real quick. I was just like, all right, like this nigga.
That was crazy.
I was like, nigga, you are on a. It was funny. That nigga said, I'm on estrogen island. I like. How do I get the hell up out of here, man? Why you? Like, I figured out what happened. Man. Let me get the fuck up out of here now.
But I think, like you said, she said something about him not being able to leave.
Yeah.
I feel like she said that. I feel like she did say that. There got to be something going on with those kids. For the fact that he referenced his wife like that, because she laughed at his singing, and he's like, you know, you remind me of my wife. You don't tell no little girl that.
Yeah.
There's something. It's like, I wonder if because it was a bunch of girls in that class, like all these girls reincarnations of the women they were like, and then her saying Emma somewhere she can never come back from. Like, what does that mean?
You know what this show makes me want to do? Because it's like, I feel like when we sit here and talk on the podcast, right, it's just like we're supposed to be like talking about it like fluidly, like, right? It's just supposed to just be going. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm trying to think while you're talking. And it's like, I can't think and talk at the same time.
No, that's what I've been doing the same thing. You know, that's why my ideas get sparked.
I was just like, man, maybe sometimes it's like, man, when I watch this show, come up with the ideas and talk about the ideas that I have more than just a show. Because I'm trying to figure it out how you trying to figure it out on the fly. Like, what's this mean? Like, why was that nigga outside of the picture place? Who is that photographer? Why can't Apollo leave? You know what I mean? Who is this new face? Who is this guy? And what is
why is Apollo the only man accepted there?
I mean, maybe because he didn't try violence, because other people came with guns and shit. I remember, like that was they're saying. Other people came on some violent shit. Apollo didn't come violent technically. He came with William.
everybody couldn't have came on violence though.
I mean,
and for the fact she said these kids have never seen a man. These kids aren't used to seeing men around here.
they kill him right away. They put him down.
There's a reason. There's a reason. Because she said, Emma willed you here.
Yeah, what did that mean? Like did she I don't know. She possessed you to come here. She put a spell on you to come here. Like, what does that mean?
Also, did all of these women all go to Brazil, all meet this witch, all deal with the same consequence? Because now we're not even talking about the red strand that was around her wrist.
Yeah, the show was supposed to be based on that, and I don't even think that shit even matters no more.
I think it still does, but they're leading us in a direction where you don't think about it.
Because they're showing the witch or whatever. They finally like I feel like she went out there. I feel like she went to see that lady more than one time.
She did. Remember, she went the first time. She saw her, and she did what I said when I said if I'd have seen her, I'd turn around and ran away.
Right. So I thought she went up there, talked to her one time, went talked to her again, like kept on going back.
I think she went the first time. She came back, and then she saw them dudes, and the dudes in their language, they was like, "Stay away from there. It's haunted." They were like, "Don't go back over there ever again." And then she went back, and then that's when, because he was like, "Don't let her touch you." Yeah. And she went back, and the witch did the thing, but touched her. And then it's like after that, I don't think she ever went back again.
Hard head. Or Jason's lyric. Hard head.
This shit is literally, it's funny because I had blanks before we started recording this.
Mm-hmm.
But the conversation is piecing together different angles of shit that's happening here.
I'm trying to think of anything else. So most of it was flashbacks, and it was most of the time he was spending out there talking to Cal about Emma and what she had went through,
and the whole island,
right,
that they're on, eating oatmeal.
And the thing about it is the show, it's fantasy, right? You know what I mean? So none of this shit has to really make sense. Like, this is something that somebody came up with. You know what I mean? It's just like,
but it has to make sense though.
It has to make sense, like according to like something else that was fantasy, right? Like, so it's like it's fantasy on top of another fantasy. So we don't have to. It makes sense for the book purposes. You know what I mean? And we want to put together, but it don't really have to make like logical sense, right? This is fantasy. Like, it could be about anything. This could be anything. They can make this anything they want to, and we have to kind of follow it.
I think by the end, it's all going to make sense. I think by the end, it's literally all going to make sense. But I also feel like, I remember when we recorded the last one, you said, when I was like, I'm gonna watch it again, you was like, what, you gonna watch it backwards? I think they're telling us the story backwards. I think by the end of this shit, it'll be like you could watch it in reverse and get to the same ending, but in a different way. I feel like the first episode is the ending we were supposed to get.
For some reason, I don't feel like it's going to be tied into a bow for us. I feel like it's going to be very, like, we're going to leave, like, maybe say if it's 10 episodes, we're going to leave the 10th episode just as confused, and we're still going to have to do the work.
I think, so this is what I think. I think by the last episode, it will all make sense, but there will still be clues that we should have picked up while we were watching it. I think it's all going to make sense by the end. But there's stuff they're saying, the stuff they're showing, the stuff that's happening that we should have been picking up along the way. Even in the beginning of this episode, dude was like, he said, "You don't believe women are magic." He said, "Look harder. Just keep looking harder." It's like they're saying certain shit for us to pick up on certain shit, but there's so much going on, it's impossible to pay attention to everything because now we're overpaying attention.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem too. Like looking at the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Like, now that I know I gotta pay attention, I'm just like, fuck that shit.
What that ice cream say?
Exactly. What kind of leaves are those in them trees right there? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because on that tree, I mean, on the website where he's buying the art now, it's funny that you say that because I didn't put together that he was buying that picture.
Yeah.
On the tree, the first word Unscrambled, I unscrambled life. But the second word, I couldn't unscramble nothing.
I had to go back and look at that. I mean,
It was like, because it was like Lief, and then it was like Nuxdon or some shit. I don't know if this is a different language. It might be a different language.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's probably broken down, like, because on YouTube somewhere at this point, because it's already out. But it's like I'm trying to. First, I was trying to figure out who that white man is. He might have not been anybody. He might have just been there unveiling the picture so the other guy could see it.
That too. He could have just been the transition for the other dude to see it.
Right.
But it's like other dude got entranced by how she was looking, I guess.
Right. Like that picture, you know, possesses people, possibly. You know what I mean? If you look at it too closely, or if you know, or depending on who you are too. Like it might not happen to everybody.
No. You're right. But with you saying that, I think that was the witch's way of coming to the regular world. Because remember, the dude was like, it's haunted. He said, don't let the witch touch you. She's haunted. That whole place is haunted. The witch touched her. She takes a picture. Maybe that picture is the way of the witch getting out to the world. Because the witch is secluded. The witch is by herself.
Right.
So maybe she transferred that energy through her, through that picture. Because remember, the dude was like, can I take a picture? First, she was like, no.
She took her own picture.
Yeah. Then when he walked away, she took the picture. And that pose, I think, means something.
Yeah, she wasn't herself. Like once she met that lady, she wasn't the same person that went over there. Like she was already like, I don't. Maybe the strand is not the wish strand. Maybe it's, you know, I mean, maybe she was possessed with that strand on her arm. Like who knows? Like that might have been something else.
And I remember when she did come back. Remember, Lakeith was with her. They came back. Then they went to go eat, and she started talking. And Lakeith was looking at her. He was like, "Oh, there she goes." It was like she wasn't herself until that moment when she's rambling. Then he was like, "Oh, there she goes."
Yeah. Damn. You know what?
Hey, we Sherlock Holmes in this shit, man. We putting this shit together. Like we putting it together.
Man,
we putting it together.
So
through that picture, because it makes no sense. All of these white women are not going to that island.
Right.
But they're all dealing with the same problem. Because remember when Lakeith was like, I know it was different what she dealt with. And Cal was like, no, don't say that. It was not different. So it's like they all dealt with the same thing.
Right.
But there has to be a reason why they all dealt with the same thing. And I think through that picture, they're getting the energy. Because the dude looked at it. His wife didn't look at the picture. He looked at it.
Right. So never mind. I'm thinking about when she was going. I think it was a flashback scene when she was talking to somebody she was talking to Cal through that Facebook group,
through the
chat. And how did she find that? Like, how did it just come up? Like, she just found
it. Was like, I think it was a website for women dealing with babies they can't. It's almost like a postpartum website.
Yeah, like she had Googled something and then she was on that site and she was like, "Are you getting text messages that disappear?" So she finally screenshotted the text message, right? And did it go away? And then it was like pictures of babies after that?
No, the pictures of babies was always there, but she screenshot it and then she went to her photos and then the picture disappeared.
Yeah. So that was funny because I thought about that too. I was just like, why she just didn't screenshot it? Like when she was trying to show a polish, she never did that until that time.
Yeah.
I'm just going back trying to think of everything, and I can't really put it together right now, but I'm trying to. Damn.
I definitely think that witch is using her
to get to other people
through that picture.
That's possible. That is possible.
Because and it's like,
but why just her though? You know what I mean? Like, where did like all the other people that were there? How did the witch get to them? Because the picture's new. Or were those pictures? Or did all the people come? No, it couldn't have been afterwards because this is all present. like Emma is present. So the people before then, how was the witch able to get to all the rest of them? So
remember how her friend reacted when she was like, she looked like a straight sorceress to that picture.
Right.
Maybe we'll find out in another episode that picture was duplicated and sent other places.
So how long has this place been around, the island? Because like I feel like the island was around way before Emma was a thing.
And that too. So it's like because Cal is way older. Even though he broke all that shit down about Cal, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
You worked one job." I literally have no idea.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna talk about this shit in the comments. We gonna find ain't nobody watching this shit but us right now. So hopefully we get some people on to like kind of go back and forth with, because right now I'm just like I'm at a standstill with everything tying into each other. Like I know what's happening. I see, you know, I'm just following the story, but I haven't tied everything together.
And I don't think you will. I literally don't think we will until the last, unless they plan on doing another season. By the last episode, everything's gonna make. No, I'm not gonna say everything's gonna make sense. Everything's gonna tie together by the last episode, but it's still gonna be like a damn. I didn't catch. I believe right now, if we was to go back and watch it from episode 1, you're gonna see certain shit in there that we're seeing kind of makes sense because we saw this one.
I wish I didn't watch all 4 episodes in one day.
Oh no, I watched 3 and then I watched the 4th one. Yeah, you're right. Oh no, I watched 2 and then I watched the 3rd one. I watched 2 together, and then the other ones I watched when I was supposed to watch them.
I watched all 3, and then I realized it was a 4th episode. I was like, "Oh shit, it's a 4th episode," and I watched that one too. It was like, I had to get all of that information in one. So I think I need to sit on episodes. I might go back. I mean, I'm not saying might. I'm gonna go back and watch each episode by itself because I got a week.
I'm literally gonna. I'm telling you right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about it right now. I want to, because I feel like if I go back to 1, I'm gonna, something that happened in this episode is gonna make sense in that episode.
All right.
I feel like everything is gonna come together like that.
Yeah. Let's watch this explained together.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Is it already out?
It should be. It wasn't out last night, but that's because the episode had just dropped. So let me see. We can watch it live if you want. We can watch it on the podcast.
Let's make it happen.
Let me see. I want a cookie.
R. Kelly?
Okay, they came out 10 hours ago. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you.
All right. Y'all get the exclusive. We're going to watch this explained.
Man. Make sure I close out all my porn tabs. I'm just like, that nigga was on butt.com.
Buttbootynaked.com. This nigga is crazy.
All right, you see it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Hopefully be able to tell me if you can hear this.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying
anything
online.
All right.
Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
Oh shit, look at us at the top.
This. I can get deals online.
Another episode of The Changeling is upon us, and with it, a new set of mysteries. In this video, we'll be taking a look at episode 5 and breaking down all the little details and clues to find out just what exactly is going on. And my goodness, is my brain about to explode. As always, I've left timestamps below so you can see all the topics I'll be covering. Now let's
check it out, cuz.
For the past few episodes, The Changeling has hinted at the importance of Norway, and episode 5 is no exception. We open on a Norwegian art gallery run by Anders Knudsen. Fun fact, Anders is played by actor William Cashian, who is in the band Future Islands alongside Sam Herring, who plays William. And his friend told Apollo that she met a Norwegian photographer while traveling in South America. We'll meet this man who goes by Leaf. Unbeknownst to him, Emma took a nude photo.
Okay, so there are 2 different people. So at least we know that.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
But same last name, though.
Gotcha. It's his brother.
of herself while he was taking a leak, and only when he was able to develop the photo did he learn what she did. This was the photo where Emma's friend said Emma looked like a sorceress. At this time, Emma still has on her red piece of string, so she hasn't begun what could be a body swap with the witch by the lagoon. But I believe there's some part of this witch laying dormant inside her until that moment the red string is cut, and perhaps this photo revealed a glimpse of that. Now, Leaf and Anders also saw that photo. Does that mean they've turned into or will turn into someone like William who also saw the photo? Now, Leaf goes on to sell this photograph to Anders in Norway, where William happened to be traveling. We learned last episode that William grew up in Norway, so perhaps he was vacationing there with his family. For those of you with a keen eye, you can see William with his wife and children way before the big reveal at the end of the episode.
Ain't that a bitch? You see what I'm saying? It's like little small stuff like that. You don't see a nigga just passing by. How the fuck am I supposed to see a nigga blurred out?
I ain't seen him passing by, but I did see him back there with the kids. I didn't know that was him, though.
Okay, I saw him at the ice. I saw that they were trying to make us look at something over here. But I didn't know that was William until they actually showed his face up front, up close.
At the end. So I saw that. And like you said, I was looking at the words on the ice cream thing. I'm like, what's up with this ice cream thing? And what's up with the dude and the kids? I'm like, something's going on with that. But I didn't know it was William to the end of the episode.
Right. All right.
Dessert stand. This is combined with a really interesting shot where it looks like some pedestrians disappear through the mirror. This is just a reflection trick, but certainly a conscious choice by the director. Now, William takes an even darker turn this episode. As it's revealed, he was the user Kindergarten who posted vile messages on Friendmore like boiling baby Brian.
So pause this shit, cuz. Pause this shit.
I gotta remember that shit.
I'm supposed to remember this bullshit.
See what I'm saying? It's like, dude.
That's the necklace. That's the necklace when he got knocked out by Cal. That's the necklace on the ground. The blood hit.
That's too much, bro. That's
we supposed to. Hey, we supposed to remember Kindergarten said baby back ribs, nigga. That's what we supposed to remember. You already know my name. This nigga said Kindergarten. He remembered that.
You really, just like you said, I think you said in the episode, like you really gotta you gotta stick to every little thing, and if you don't, you're gonna miss it, or it might come up again. It may come up again. Either that or you miss it.
Press play, man.
While Avatar was the same as the necklace that falls off of him after being knocked down by Cal. It appears that William wasn't always this way. It was only after he laid eyes on Emma's photograph in Norway that he began to turn. William speaks fluent Norwegian, and as Apollo is taken out from his cell, he says 3 lines in Norwegian. Bear with me here because I used Google Translate, and these could be wrong.
I wanted to know what that was saying too.
What he was saying
when he was yelling that shit, I was like, I don't know what that means, but it means something.
So I thought he was saying what, because usually they'll break it down in like captions or
yeah, it didn't. It just said in another language.
Right. I thought he would say what he said, and then he was saying something in English after. So I thought he was just saying what he said and then translating it after. That's why they did
right.
But yeah. So what fun game of chance, and I'm going to die. All right.
Hey, can you turn up the video some so when I put it on Spotify it can be heard? Or is that as loud as it goes? I won't know until it's on Spotify. I just want to make sure it's up.
This is as loud as it goes. I got it loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be up when I'm not listening with headphones, so it might be up.
Okay. But you can hear it though, right, Loki?
Yeah, I hear it.
And I'm going to die. So they're all pretty cryptic. William also seems to know all about Cal, reciting her real name and knowing specific details about her past. Whether this is some sort of magical power or gleaned from his friends who apparently have access to CCTV footage is yet to be known. According to Cal and Greta, William's wife, it was William who killed their daughter, driving him to madness in the idea that he can make his family whole again. When Apollo confronts William, we see that he has changed. No longer is he bald and covered in blood, but has turned into his true self, which apparently comes with a new set of hair. But I'm still left with questions. What does William really want? Who are these mysterious friends of his who showed him his true self? All that we really have to go on so far is that he could be some sort of fairy. Apollo's main reason for visiting North Brother Island was to find Emma, who, according to Cal, is no longer there. Not just anyone can gain access to this island. There seems to be some sort of magical spell preventing others from accessing it. William remarked that when he went up and down the river several times, he found nothing, and that it was only when Apollo was with him that the island revealed itself. Cal even states that nothing short of a god.
So could it be that whole Emma willed him there, that the spell was broken, that he was able to get across the ocean to get there?
Right. And it's not even the ocean.
Not the, I'm saying the ocean, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I do remember William saying that he was like, I came up and down here multiple occasions. I never saw it until I was with you. But I think that is what, because Cal said she willed you here. So it's like, that's why she was shocked. Like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, how'd you get here?
Yeah. Gotcha.
And they witches.
Access the island, which is a good thing for Apollo because he often refers to himself as such. I am the god Apollo! Emma arrived at North Brother Island shortly after the death of Brian. She received help from Cal after messaging a mother support group and asking if any other moms felt their child wasn't their own. These women all seem to have suffered the same fate as her. They believe their child isn't their own and end up killing them. Of course, no one would believe any of them. Thus, this commune for women was established for their protection and to provide a safe space where they can be believed. Emma would live here on and off for a few months, sometimes going back to the mainland to replenish the island's library. According to Cal, Emma willed Apollo here, and it's now up to Apollo, if he so chooses, for the truth to be revealed to him. This truth may have something to do with whether or not their child was actually killed. After all, a mysterious text message that was sent to Emma says, "Got him," implying that some sort of switch was made and the thing Emma actually killed was not their son, but something that had been glamored to look like him. I think the answer to a lot of this show's mysteries revolve around Apollo's parents. Apparently, Emma talked to Cal a lot about Apollo's father while she was on the island. What purpose would she have in doing so? There's also this weird connection to the book, To the Waters and the Wild, which Cal says, quote, tells the truth. This likely has something to do with fairies wanting to steal his child. Lillian is the one, however, who I least trust. Remember, she already lied to Apollo about divorcing his father. But there's this one weird edit that sticks out in my mind. As Lillian goes to touch Emma, it cuts to the old washerwoman putting the string around her arm.
Yeah.
This is as if to suggest that.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. Because she said something like, she was like, yeah, the women, it's like a long chain. Like one woman touches another woman, one woman touches another woman, and the chain keeps going. And then she extended her hand. And then Emma touched her hand, and then they cut to the witch doing the same shit. And I was like, that. Until they said it again right now, I thought about it in a moment, but until he said it again right now, you're like, yeah, what the fuck was that about?
Emma's mom is not Apollo's mom ain't the witch.
She ain't the witch, but she did some shit.
But she could be a witch.
A witch for sure, or a good witch almost. She did some shit, man. They haven't said it yet, but she did something.
Oh yeah, they said he just said he was like, man, I don't trust her. Like something's going on with that lady. Like. Yeah,
I've been saying that's a yes.
You said she dropped the nigga in the ocean, so that hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's a possibility, right?
Nah, that nigga Apollo is in the bottom of the ocean. It could have been dealt with it already. Killed the fairy baby, and Apollo's the real baby. She got the baby back. It could be that. It could be just as simple as that.
Baby back ribs is what they said.
Some sort of connection between the washerwoman and Lillian. As Emma's mental health declines, we see certain events from her perspective. Her child, for example, snaps at her and even morphs his face similar to that of the puppet in episode 4. This would suggest that Brian has been glamored.
I didn't think of that when I saw the puppet, but did you think of that when you saw the puppet? About that baby's face, like it reminds you of the puppet?
I didn't think about the puppet. I just knew the baby looked demented.
Right.
I didn't think about the puppet at all.
Okay.
Closed captioning, Brian is even referred to as the Changeling, but knowing his mental state, she's an unreliable narrator, and as such, it's also possible this is all in her head. Emma makes 3 new wishes.
Hey, pause it. So when the stories are happening from them, they are the narrators, and therefore that's changing the text too?
What do you mean?
Because he just said...
You're talking about the text of the subtitles.
Yeah, because he just said when she's a narrator, it's possible that that's just the way she sees it.
Oh, right. Like, so the baby is called the Changeling in her
mind.
Her mind, yeah. It's not hers. So, but in the real world. That's why I kept on thinking about, like, I haven't really confirmed it yet, but her name being Emma and Emily in 2 different episodes, weird to me. So it could have just been in somebody else's narration. I don't know.
Oh, man.
So
now we got to pay attention to the narration too.
Yeah, pretty much.
And which could be a reference to wanting Brian to see her before her mental decline. The second, I wish you knew a different mommy, that she is not the great mother for Brian that she thought she could be. And third, I wish she was here. Who could Emma be referring to? Her own mother, perhaps? The one who killed herself in a fire? I also want to take a moment to talk about the carving found in Apollo's jail cell. A carving that reads, "They bathe it at dusk, they hide it with guile, at home in the forest, forever lost in the wild." This reads as though it could be a line from To the Waters and the Wild. It's also narrated by Emma, implying that it could have been her who etched it in the pillar. We learned last episode that Emma was a, quote, pain in the ass to those on the island, so it's entirely possible she wound up in this cell for a night or two. If I were to guess what the poem refers to, it would be a child. Brian, for example, was hid with guile or magic. What I found really interesting was the way in which Emma posed for the camera. Now, I can't really show the whole thing or I'll get demonetized by YouTube, but this is not your standard look sexy for the camera pose. It's something very deliberate. Her right hand faces forward while the left covers her genitals, but she's not hiding her body as if being suddenly caught. Quite the opposite. This is a woman wanting to be seen. Emma's friend notes the strength and power of this image, calling Emma a, quote, effing sorceress. And as we'll see later, both William and the art gallery owner, both men, seem hypnotized by it. The open palm is one of invitation, almost as if to say, look at the power of my body. Given that Emma will later give birth, I wonder if the left hand covering her vulva is a nod to the power of a woman. I mean, I'm no classical art historian, but let me know what you think below. At the beginning of the episode, the narrator recites in Old Swahili saying, quote, "Whomsoever is not taught by the mother will be taught by the world."
I remember that.
Interesting because Emma's mother died while she was young, implying that she had to be taught by the world. And as we all know, the world is usually a harsher teacher than a mother. Perhaps that's why she doesn't heed the advice of the locals and decides to visit the old washerwoman, even though they warned her not to. Those are all the main topics I wanted to cover in this episode. Now I turn it over to you. I want to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
I want to hear your thoughts and theories.
Man. So I think a lot of that we did talk about.
Yeah, we did. You know, just like I said, like these explained things, they just kind of like things that you could have possibly missed or you caught, but you didn't really know how to, like, you know what I mean? He's pretty much doing what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Right. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, he has more of like how he knew what the person said in the jail. William said in the jail cell because he looked it up on Google Translate. He didn't know it. You know what I mean? But he was able to look up everything, so we didn't have to. But,
right.
Yeah, so far, like I'm trust me, I'm still stuck, but it's, you know, it's interesting. Especially the mom touching the wrist and it going over to the witch. That's interesting.
Very. And like I said, I knew there was something in that when she was just describing. She was like, yeah, normally the mother passes it along, and it was like along. She was like one hand to this hand, one hand to this hand, and then she reached out. It's like in that moment, I was just like, that was weird. It's like one of those things like that got to mean something,
right? And
then they jump to the witch, damn near doing the same thing. So it's like that. With that had to mean something. Something is up with his mama. I feel like Apollo was a fairy that she killed. She's probably the only one that got her child back.
Or like, you know how they said Emma killed a different version of her baby? Like, what if Apollo, like she killed a different version of Apollo too?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I
thought you said she got him back. Like it was still Apollo. She didn't kill him.
No, so I'm thinking they're gonna show when they're in that apartment. Apollo did something in that bathroom, and she probably found out he was a fairy baby and killed him. Yeah, and somehow got her child back. Got the real Apollo back.
Got you. Got you.
Because and then his dad must have been like some type of fairy. Is his dad from Norway?
I don't recall him being from Norway. Like, cause he was a he was like what is he, like a parole officer or some shit?
He was a
like
parole
that?
officer, yeah.
I don't think he was from Norway. But him having that blue mask and blowing that blue smoke was kind of strange. I still don't understand that yet.
And I don't think maybe he showed up to eat Apollo.
Oh, but that would mean he was like, what? What is he then to eat Apollo? What is he?
A fairy.
He's a fairy.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, brother.
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But some's telling me Apollo is in that suitcase. The other Apollo is in that suitcase at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. So we know what the thing said on the jail wall, and it has something to do with that book that his dad had.
Hold on. What did the mom say about the baptism? Something about water.
What did the mom say about the baptism?
It made Emma want to have the baptism. Whatever she said, it was something about the life in the water.
I don't recall exactly what she said. I do remember that scene of her being in the church talking to the pastor, wanting to get it done quickly.
The water is how I gotta find that quote now, because she says something about life, and he can't live without something in the water. It's something about the water. And if you look at it, she drops a suitcase in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how Apollo comes back. Emma boils the water and does something to that baby with the water.
Yeah, I thought she was just burning the baby with the water.
They never show what she did with that water.
She did, yeah. I just figured. I assumed it.
Everything in the shit is revolved around water. The witch is at the water. Mm-hmm. They're on an island surrounded by water. Everything has to do with water in here.
The witch is at the waterfall.
Yeah. Apollo's in the bathroom. Water's running when he's little. They don't show what happened in there, but water's running in there.
I mean, but if we're gonna do that, it's like we can, there's so many different things that are going on. Like how we were talking about, like the interracial relationships. You know what I mean? You saying the water, but then there was also fire. You know what I mean? A lot of fire going on. Then you have these this whole Norwegian thing. Like, what's that about? You know what I mean? Like, what does that even matter? It's just so many different things that it could be.
I just need to know that quote.
Play a role.
I need to know that quote from his mom about the water.
You want to pause it and look at it?
Yeah. So we found the quote. It said, unless one is born of water and spirit, it cannot be saved. Mm-hmm. Which leads me to believe the fairies are somewhat not one with water, maybe?
You got to drown your baby and it's got to die, and you got to raise the zombie baby.
No. No, I feel like the water is like a deterrent to the fairies. I mean, if you think about them being on an island, there's a reason why they're on an island.
If you live
there's a reason why
water is the issue. That's the problem.
Say it again.
If you live on an island and you like water is an issue, that's a big problem.
That's a problem for the fairies. You're trying to keep away.
Trying to keep away. Okay, you're talking about the fairies they're trying to keep away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got you.
I think the water might expose the fairies too.
What do you mean?
She said, if one is not born of water and spirit, one cannot do what now?
You're not They said
I forgot that fast.
saved life or
Your life cannot be saved.
saved. Yeah, your life cannot be saved.
So so fairies probably don't have spirits, and they probably just don't fuck with the water. I don't think. I'm just thinking situationally, it would make sense for them to be hiding on an island because the fairies can't get there because the fairies don't fuck with the water.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the witches and the fairies are against each other.
Yes.
But the witches save the children. The fairies eat the babies.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And I think the water kind of exposes them. She boiled that water for a reason. We don't know what she did with that water, but she boiled that water for a reason. I don't think she hit that baby with a hammer. I think she boiled that baby to death.
Mm-hmm.
And Apollo's mom dropping that suitcase in that water was for a reason. I think she trapped that fairy in that suitcase and dropped that motherfucker in the water.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's all it's just all assumption, right? So I'm just like, I'm trying to but what you're saying, I can't say you're wrong. I can't say that possibly.
I also can't say I'm right. Yeah. This is all in theory.
Yeah.
But it's like that quote was for a reason.
Yeah.
I think Apollo's mom is from Africa. Mm-hmm. Witchcraft is definitely from Africa. And it's funny that they're doing it like this because witches were always seen as bad, even though witches from Africa were seen as good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're showing, for the fact that Cal says we're witches, we automatically think negative.
Absolutely.
Instead of thinking positive, we're not looking at the fact that they're saving all of these women. We're just like, oh, y'all witches.
Yeah.
But the fairies is the one fucking everything up. And fairies are always essentially seen as good.
Which still doesn't make sense to me.
It don't, but in that book, they're exposing the truth. Like she said the book is truth.
Right.
In the book, the fairies is the ones that's fucked up.
That's eating the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is where we at, y'all. This is where we at. Everything is playing on my mind right now. I feel like Explain. I've never watched an Explain before. This is the first time Brian made me watch it because I don't like to be guided. I like to learn on the way and explain. I see that helps now.
Yeah, as you can see, there was no guide. There's no walkthrough. Like that person don't know.
Right, which is dope. What's his name? We want to shout out his channel. We're gonna tag him too because we use his content. Think Story. Mm-hmm. Dope. That's a dope breakdown to help us kind of. I have my own opinions, but then it kind of adds to it.
Yeah.
It helps us to know that somebody else is thinking the way we think.
I feel like he watches these shows to do what he does, right? So it's just like he can watch the first episode and literally like, okay. He probably might have read. I don't even know if he read the book at this point because this is like he's just going by each scene. Just like, all right, let me break this scene down. Like if I gave you a song to break down, right, and you would just go by lyric, all right, let me see what this meant. What do you mean by this metaphor? Or you know what I mean? Why did he use this way? Or you know, stuff like that. So if you can, he's not really even reviewing it. It's just more of like,
right.
All right, these are my theories. You know, this is what
it's like hitting that pause button. It's like hitting that pause button, like, oh, this is why he said this. Let me translate this for you, which is dope. Like I said, that's dope.
Yeah, because we just watch it. It's just going. I don't pause it and go backwards. I just watch the full episode, and then I make my like, I might even forgot something or missed something. You know?
Yeah. So I definitely think. I don't know if Apollo's mom is necessarily a witch, but I think she won against the fairies.
Mm-hmm.
I believe she's one that won. I'm really leaning towards her being a witch just because of the way she touched her arm or touched her hand when she was telling the story.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of it though, but I'm definitely leaning towards her being a witch because of that.
And her dad being the fairy, or his dad being the fairy.
And his dad being a fairy. because there's a reason he's having those nightmares, and they still haven't explained it.
Yeah.
This is where we at, man. I'm here for it. I think I'm going to go watch these episodes again from one.
I have to.
I literally, I'm gonna drive myself crazy thinking about this shit.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Black on Black Prime.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, talk to us. We talk about wherever if you there. Shout out to Explain for helping us, and we're going to continue to use them as long as you allow us to. You know what I mean? Yep. But tell us what y'all thought. If y'all watching it, man, don't be scared to comment, man. You don't sound stupid for having theories. We with y'all. We sound crazy too. Everybody sound crazy.
You see what he said? He was like, my mind is about to explode before he even started to explain. He was like, I don't know what's going on. So anyway.
And it's funny. I want to say this. It's funny because I watched this episode twice, and both times I didn't know I had a lot to pull from him. I think you even started by saying this was a filler episode.
Yeah.
But then after conversation, you kind of see there's a lot to pull from it.
Yeah. That is definitely true. Because I was just like, I was focused so much on Emily's character on this episode. I was just like, all right, cool. This makes sense for episode, I think it was like 2.
Right. And so we definitely have to listen to who's narrating and pay attention to the name switches. Because I caught the name switches, but I did not know it was because it was in Emily's mind.
Yeah.
Or Emma's mind. Emily or Emma, whatever the fuck she is.
Yeah. It says, on IMDb, it says Emmy.
But the thing is, I literally never heard nobody say Emily. I'm just taking your word for it because I can't deny it.
Yeah, no. It's I'm gonna go back and see, because like shit, I could have not had my glasses on at the time and just I heard Emily, thought I saw Emily, but it was Emma. Or subtitles are literally like they're made as almost like subtitles are like AI. You know what I mean? I deal with subtitles at work. Like nobody sits, like some people sit there and type it, and then there's some people that run it through like some type of software, and it just reads
auto-generate.
Yeah, so it's just like it could have just been a mistake.
I
mean, so.
But I don't think there's no mistakes in this show. I think everything in this show is on purpose.
Yeah, we'll see. Shit.
Because it literally said in Swahili. Like, they didn't say what they were saying. And then when he's yelling from the jail, it just says in Norwegian or whatever that language is, Portuguese. It was like in that. They don't tell you what it says either. So him Googling it, that's dope.
Yeah. Well, we will holler at y'all.
Yeah.
06. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify, and follow us on IG and TikTok.